Welcome back to Austin, Texas here for our semi-finals of DreamHack All-Stars for Heroes of the Storm, the Summer Regional here for North America, as we begin to find out who is moving on to the Grand Final and then who is moving on to the Summer Championship, which will be at DreamHack Summer later down the line. My name is James Carl, and alongside me on the desk at this time, we have Mr. Jack Egg, Mr. Jake, and then we have Zoya as well as Jay Howe. Very far away from me happily, so we don't get that lovely size. Look at this, it's so much better.
I'm so tilted right now, starting it very early here. He just asked me, do you want me to go get you Gilly's box? Thanks, thanks Jay Howe.
That might have happened.
Yeah?
Pleading the fifth.
I don't understand. This scene, everyone is so much shorter than in StarCraft. In StarCraft, everyone was monsters apart from me. So there you go. That's how it normally is. I'm kind of a short guy. I do apologize. Why am I apologizing for being short, actually? All right. Anyway. But let's take a look at the bracket and see how things are going to be unfolding for you for the next 3 series. We do indeed start things off with Gale Force versus Team Naventic, a very, very hungry team going up against one of the very tip-top here in North America. Then down towards the bottom, it will be Cloud9 going up against Cognitive Gaming. Cognitive coming off the back of a strong win there against Astral Authority and looking to push on further against a Cloud9 that looked great yesterday. Overall, this bracket, this top 4, what you should be expected, or a little bit of a difference?
Well, C9 is the one team that hasn't dropped a game yet, right? They haven't dropped a single map in this tournament, so I think they're looking the most dominant just based on that alone.
I mean, I honestly thought because we've seen a little bit of shakiness out of Cloud9, that I kind of worried a little bit how they would be coming in. But the fact that, you know, and I thought their LAN experience is starting to become a little bit more neutralized by the experience of some of the other teams, but they're showing their dominance once again here.
Yeah, I agree. Cloud9 looks fantastic. Let's see if they can keep that momentum today, because we have noticed, you know, some tournaments they just show up and they look great, and sometimes they just flatline, you know, from day to day. So who knows if today is going to be, you know, the exact same thing we saw yesterday.
Of course, we will be looking at our first 2 teams in just a moment as well, with Gale Force and Naventic, and we will be starting on the side of Gale Force. That, for all intents and purposes, they came in confident, and, you know, as much as they did drop a map to Astral Authority yesterday in that second round, they still seem confident. And, oh, the beautiful hair, and the comb with the logo on it. I don't know if I could ask for more, boys.
Yeah, that Gale Force pick is next level awesomeness for him there. Looking rather nice. Now, this team in general, they came in yesterday, they looked rather confident in their play. Rafflecopter was a playmaker himself. But if they draft the way they did, I feel like Naventic is going to be able to punish them pretty heavily.
Yeah. The thing about this roster here is there have been multiple big stages throughout the history of esports. We've got BlizzCon, you know, that was one of the biggest stages that Cloud9 competed at. I would almost argue that Michael Udall and Akaface have experience on just as powerful as a stage. At Heroes of the Dorm, where Michael Udall here and Akaface both won that. So
without dropping a map,
without dropping a map. So, you know, with that kind of tension, with that kind of nerves going into that big of a stage, they got to feel great right now.
Yeah, Akaface being highlighted right there. I mean, this is the other side of that Michael Udall Akaface. And you talk about the, you know, experience when you have those 2 members. Michael Udall, melee assassin, Akaface, the support. It's good to have good synergy there when you're playing those 2 roles, and I think those guys go together perfectly.
Akaface in Buddhist religion would be reborn as a butterfly down the line sometime. And then rounding things out for Gale Force, of course, our final member will be Mr. Fury, who has been around the block a few times here in the American scene.
Very solid warrior player overall. I mean, Fury, he's like you said, he's played for forever. He's been part of the competitive scene as long as anyone when it comes down to it. Yeah. And, you know, I'm super impressed with his performance this weekend alone.
Yeah, it's just really good job. I mean, Fury's been one of the longest-standing warriors in this scene, dating back to Murloc Geniuses. You know, he kind of disappeared for a bit trying to find the right team, but he fits in so well with Gale Force. Yeah,
well, before our semi-finals, of course, we actually got the opportunity yesterday after Gale Force were able to take the victory to have a little bit of a chat with Rafflecopter to see what he thought about the tournament so far.
We won both our games today. So much fun. Why did we win? We just like out-mechanicked our team, like our other teams. Like, they're not much competition, really. Like, it's going to be honest. I guess depending on who wins tomorrow, we'll be playing. It's either Panda Global or Naventic. I definitely respect the teams a lot more. But again, I think we'll just win. We have really good chemistry. Like, guys are very supportive of whatever plays we make. And it's like, overall, we're just like a bunch of friends. Michael Udall is like team captain, and he does all the shot calling and stuff like that. And then I usually help him, and then I help him with draft. And then the rest of the guys, like, all help him pitch in, we're like really supportive and stuff. Like, I'm from a lot smaller city, so like seeing a building that big is like amazing to me. And all these skyscrapers around here, it's great. The amount of energy is just like insane. I love it. The audience is great, and there's just like so much to do between games. Like, so much stuff is going on. First game, I didn't play too well, but my team, like, again, like, they weren't really critical of me. They were just like, I understand, like, you didn't get a lot of sleep last night, whatever. And but I think coming to the next set, like, I definitely stepped it up and played really well. But I think maybe 2 of our players, this is like their first LAN, I think. So they're a little nervous going into game 1 against Astral Authority, but we were able to like bounce back on game 2, and then at the end of game 3, we were like really nervous again. But I think tomorrow, like, we'll be fine. Like, you always have like your first match, you always have like a lot of jitters and nerves, so they'll be over it. We're going to Sweden. We're going all the way. Yeah.
Rafflecopter showing the same kind of confidence we saw in them yesterday as well, not only before the tournament, but during the tournament as well. I think what's nice for me to see there is that he understands that there were a few mistakes in his game in that series that they had, especially towards the end. I think he was probably in one of the weaker positions, but everybody has those days. Everyone has those days.
I just got to compliment the motorcycle sound effects on the background of Rafflecopter. That was just, I loved it.
The great thing about Gale Force, I mean, you did talk about it, Raffle, when we highlighted it yesterday, some positioning mistakes, but their team as a whole has that cohesion. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to highlight it again today because, I mean, just before we came over here, they were huddled up in that little team group, huddling together, trying to get their energy up and come together. I love what I see out of that team. Even if they don't go and finish first or second, what they have right now, it's great to watch.
Yeah, it's so weird to phrase it like this, but it's almost a humble kind of confidence. Like, they don't seem like all gun-ho, yeah, we're going to destroy everybody, nah. It is actually, you know, we are confident here in our abilities, and we're probably going to show up. It might be a little bit difficult here against Team Naventic, of course, Zoya, but they could perhaps cause a little bit of an upset.
Yeah, there definitely is the chance there, but I mean, if you look at the difference between how Naventic played yesterday and how they're playing this morning, it almost feels like a different team. The energy alone, just from hearing them all the way from over there, is astounding. They just seem like today they are ready to turn it up.
Yeah, we were able to hear them here on the desk.
Some mix-ups happening too. McIntyre playing Muradin. We have Zuna going to Zeratul. Like, you know, yesterday Zuna only played Warrior, and he swapped roles into the Warrior. Yeah. But they're starting to show like some of their cards coming into today.
This is how Heroes of the Storm should probably be played. You don't have people who play roles. You have people who play the hero that best fits the situation for this composition, and that's exactly what they do. They have McIntyre, who's essentially the most flex you can actually classify someone. He will literally play any role he needs to in that situation.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, even just from personal experiences, and I'm pretty sure everyone on this desk has the same experiences. You may enjoy playing support more, you may enjoy playing warrior more, but there's definitely assassins that just fit you. There's definitely, you know, that specialist that just fits you, even though you're on a particular role. So see that kind of shake up there in that flex role is really kind of cool. So looking at Team Naventic here, once again, Mr. Big E, one of the most recent additions to the team. Fitting it well, and they've got to be coming into this series with some confidence, especially, as you said, after that first start to the day.
Big E looked great this morning. I mean, the whole team is just playing on fire, and we're seeing, you know, different stuff from them, different talent builds, different compositions. You know, they're really looking to diversify themselves. I think in the last NA regionals, what everyone went in expecting to know exactly how Naventic was going to draft. It was very Sonya Tassadar related, Sonya Rhaegar related, and this time we're seeing a lot more diversity in their compositions.
I mean, to speak more about that, Kenma, diverse. Zuna, diverse. Fan, McIntyre. Is there a hero these guys don't play? It opens up so many compositions for them, and they're so experienced at that to be able to pull it forward.
It's interesting, though, because I've heard a few murmurs, like McIntyre is not really too excited about the idea of playing Illidan. And, you know, typically, you know, you see a lot of Illidan play, so if they have to move someone, they have to just kind of swap everyone around, make the shift and make that happen. But they've already proven that they're more than capable of doing so. So, you know, I'm just excited to see exactly the way they approach this. Already seeing Zuna popping out in Zeratul.
Yeah.
What other tricks do they have in store for us?
Well, the opening to the day, we saw a lot of Muradin and Tazara instantly from them, of course, going up against Panda Global. Maybe a little bit more of a target towards them more so than anything, but it's still fantastically solid picks that do transcend almost every single kind of composition. But anyway, we had a chat with Mr. Big E as Naventic was able to move on to the semi-finals earlier today to see what he thought about being here in DreamHack Austin.
This is my first time in Austin, and like obviously first time at DreamHack, and I like going to LAN. It's fun. I get to meet people, hang out with my team. We played extremely well game 1, and I think it was a stomp, but game 2, I guess I choked a little bit. This wasn't the exact draft we wanted, but we improvised and it worked well for us. Overall, the tournament, I feel like I played okay. Like some games I played like monster, some games not so much, and I needed my team to carry me, but I think overall, okay. It's weird because I have 2 ex-teammates, or everyone in Panda Global was my ex-teammate. And then 2 people on Gale Force were part of my team too. So it feels weird playing them. We're like all on different teams now, but like I feel like we understand them a lot because they were our primary scrim partners for like a week or 2, and then I think it will go okay. First place. I go first place.
That was Big E. Again, some confidence there in their position as Team Naventic, looking for that first place. I mean, it's all kind of warranted, I would say, from a team like Naventic with the position that they've found themselves here in the American scene. I'm looking forward to seeing how the maps are going to be playing out. We're also into best of 3 still during all of this, so we can actually take a look at those maps to see how things are going to go down here. So Gale Force is banning out Tomb of the Spider Queen, then Garden Terror, surprise, surprise, going over away from Naventic. Then we're going to start things on Infernal Shrines. Yes, Tomb, Towers of Doom. Oh God, I love it. And then we have also Sky Temple. There wasn't as much excitement for Sky Temple in my voice there. I do apologize. I can do it again. Sky Temple, yes.
Oh, yes.
Nice. All right. So, but Towers of Doom a guarantee. Happy with that. So we're starting on Infernal Shrines, kind of the middle ground across the board here for these 2 teams. And Gale Force, they busted out the Kerrigan yesterday. Could be a thing again. Let's take a look at the map, though, as we do, of course, have that on the way, Jake.
All right, well, of course, this is Infernal Shrines, a tri-lane map with the shrines that you're going to be fighting to control. Oftentimes, we see teams drafting for a little bit more splash damage, the area of effect, to make sure you can get those last hits on the skeletal defenders to secure yourself a Punisher. The Punisher can be Frost, Mortar, or Arcane, 3 different flavors, all delicious, and they will dive in, focusing on enemy heroes before the structures. Now, of course, the Khazar camp and the Fallen Shaman camp do exist across this map, but there is no boss. The only boss is the Punisher itself, which is the core objective. You will see heroes like Kerrigan potentially picked up here. We actually saw that yesterday, as you mentioned, played by Michael Udall, because of the ability to dive in using the Ravage from one defender to the next, getting all the, not only the mobility, but also the healing from all those last hits.
I'm glad you mentioned the flavors of the Punishers as well. That's really important.
What's your favorite flavor?
Bubblegum, which is the Arcane.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then the Mortar one's orange. Yum, yum. And then what's the ice one? Ooh,
Blueberry.
I wonder. Ooh. All right, so.
You're not going to tell us, please.
Huh?
It's got to be blueberry, right?
I mean, you could go blueberry. I was thinking kind of vanilla. It's ice cream, you know?
Vanilla?
Yeah,
Mint?
sure. But it is blue.
Hello?
I agree. I agree.
I'm getting tilted right now. You guys.
Why would it be vanilla? I'm so confused.
Why would it be blueberry?
Ice cream.
What would it be, Zoya?
Why wouldn't it be
Yeah, what would
mint?
it be, Zoya?
I can't think of any other blue foods.
Would
Give
it
me
be
a
like
second.
bubble bath?
Bubble bath.
That's disgusting.
I have just been tilted more than ever.
I'm really looking forward to a bar of soap right now. Yum, yum. All right, well, we are getting into the draft for game number 1 here on Infernal Shrines between these 2 teams, Gale Force Esports and Naventic, of course, as we do have Sonya and Illidan going to be banned out. No Kerrigan in the first rotation, which is going to be not normally the case. Volstad picked up first.
I like this. They let Kael'thas through for a comfort pick on this map. Not very many teams would I say this is a good pickup here for. Volstad fits their playstyle so very well. They just have to play it perfectly because they did give Naventic Zul Kael'thas.
Yeah, Raffle, probably going to be the one playing false head in this game, is incredibly comfortable on that hero.
It was by far his best hero, in my opinion.
I mean, if you look at the Heroes of the Dorm alone, he was playing on Tennessee, and he flat out just carried his team on false head.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at how globally, if you look at a team like MVP Black, they actually almost always ban out, or did for a long time ban out Falstad, because they want to be able to take fights on their terms. And Gust always kind of, in essence, dictates when a fight can go down. So that's how powerful it is on a global sense.
We talk about comfort picks, though. Falstad probably going to be Rafflecopter. Li Ming yesterday, played by Crowan. He was putting out a ton of damage. Again, Infernal Shrines is kind of that iffy thing, and Zoya pointed it out earlier, the minions that Zul spawns as well. That can be a headache there when you're on Li Ming. But these are straight comfort picks right now for Gale Force.
Yeah, Michael Udall, who was up here whilst we were interviewing him, different map, of course, but was mentioning how strong Crowan was on that Li Ming in order to be able to get out those combos, dish out the damage, and was really one of the MVPs there.
We've seen a lot of good Li Ming play this weekend, but we're going to see the Uther support locked in here for Gale Force.
Do they ban Kerrigan? That's the question. We already see 2 melee bans. Zul already locked in for Naventic. Kerrigan being covered, I like it. After you see the Uther picked up, that's such a strong pairing for the Kerrigan. Just have to deny it.
Toronto makes so much sense here. You've already got 2 good CCs between Kael'thas and Zul. Doesn't even matter if you get a Warrior with CC, which clearly they're going to go Murden or ETC here. But the Toronto needed to be banned out. We see Tassadar and Murden locked in. Team Naventic knows exactly what they want.
Yeah, they are wasting no time. I mean, early this morning, we actually saw them take quite a bit of time in their draft, but this is a straight Naventic draft for Infernal Shrines.
Yeah.
And that Tassadar pickup is going to be guaranteed in a draft that involves Naventic.
Yeah, when I look at that, I think, okay, maybe they would have liked Tyrande perfectly there to complement everything, but this, as you say, is still, I believe, super comfort picks. Naventic has got everything they want, right?
I would say the same for Gale Force, though. They very much lean on Falstad and Li Ming. And we do see that the Joanna is picked up. Interesting to see the Joanna over the ETC here. I do think it is needed because they are lacking the ability to contest the shrines right now. Neither Li Ming or Falstad are as good as, you know, a Kael'thas or a Tassadar when it comes to claiming the monsters.
I just wonder if this is going to be a Sylvanas pickup. They are looking to go more with that melee front line, and I think that matches up a little bit better. I mean, in the sense that you get good wave clear as well as you have somebody to join.
Oh, the Murky being hovered. It's going to be Thrall, though. As much as we'd like to see Murky, it's pretty darn unlikely. Ooh, Asmo showing the threat. They've won several games in the last couple of weeks with the Asmodee. They've proven that Michael Udall is quite good on the hero, and they haven't locked in his hero that's going to be playing this matchup yet. But I do like the Thrall myself. Sylve could work as well, for sure.
I'm shooting them the eye, because I wonder if they're messing with us right now.
Yeah, I think I like the Sylve, as you mentioned. Like, I think that would be a nice fit. Not quite as much sustained potential, but obviously it's a backline anyway, like Thrall could be.
It's just, yeah, Thrall's just such good initiation with Sundering and the Bless Shield follow-up, and then you seclude the team very nicely. From the seclusion, Li Ming goes to town, she starts to get the resets, she's shredding them apart.
Yeah.
And of course, if anything goes sour, or you just have Falstad to Mighty Gust and completely reset the situation for you.
All right, what we're looking at as last pick here for Naventic.
Probably Rhaegar.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being anyone else, honestly.
I mean, there's just so much burst from the Thrall Li Ming. You need to have burst healing to deal with it.
Kenma would be great on Rhaegar in this situation. I wasn't a big fan of his Karazim yesterday, to be honest.
I'm comfortable with Kenma on any support. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if they go away from what would be more traditional. And they're obviously taking a little bit of time to think about it. Rhaegar seems the obvious fit, but
I like their Karazim when they go 7-sided.
Yeah,
I agree.
Like, I mean, even Johanna being at the front line or whatever, even if you catch Thrall in it, I don't think it's too bad, but you chunk down Johanna if she's at the front there, and oftentimes she will go in for those kinds of pokes, so you can try and catch her.
Well, they're thinking really hard on it. You know, they're weighing their options as well as they can. I mean, Naventic, they always look at a situation and just kind of weigh every option as well as they can. They may even be talking about Malfurion a little bit. They may even talk about Brightwing to see what would actually be the best pick. Brightwing, they do need something to try and stop the false stag level, but it will be the Karazim, more of a comfort pick here for
They're
Naventic.
hovering, yeah. So they're not going to have as much area of effect, of course. Lightning Shield is very nice for helping clear the shrines. Not the case here. Karazim going to be the pickup for Kenma.
I mean, they were so decisive in their first 4 picks, and they used every bit of their time pool to lock in that last pick.
Yeah.
I'm always a big fan of Karazim on this map as a healer because there are so many situations where you are so clumped up, especially, I mean, with the Muradin Zul at the front, Tassadar slightly behind. You can get a lot of value out of Karazim's way in which he actually heals.
That's true.
So I don't mind it too much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think in this situation, both teams drafted exactly what they wanted.
Yeah,
Minus,
for
you
sure.
know, the
Minus Kerrigan,
problem.
yeah, but other
But
than
still,
that-
this is not a composition that Gale Force is not comfortable on in the slightest.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't give a major favorite to either of these teams. I think this could go either way. The control of the shrines is pretty darn even in terms of like the capability. We have that Johanna in the front line, which is going to be nice, but it's not like the thunderclap of Murden is poor by any means either for the Warrior.
The way I like to look at it in a situation like this where both teams get exactly what they want is which other team do you feel is just better, mechanically better as a team? In this situation, you know, I'm always going to say Naventic. So when I look at this, I just think Naventic won.
I mean, the whole thing when we talk about Gale Force, though, they play to their strengths.
Yes.
And their strengths aren't too shabby. And it's just a matter of can they execute against the top-tier talent like we're going to be looking at here in Naventic.
I do like the idea of Falstad being able to try and control it. I mean, of course, there's always the telegraphing of like, we've just bone prisoned you, it's time for you to die. But of course, you know, Falstad can try and kind of interrupt those kinds of things later down the line. So predictions, guys, we're going to start down all the way to tall and all the way to short.
You know what I got to do,
He wants to do it. He's
know what I got to do.
He's going to use the props. Let's go.
You know what I got to do.
Oh, no. Like,
Gale Force.
all right, one for Gale Force.
As badly as I want to use the other one of those, I got to give it to Naventic.
Okay.
I'm feeling there's a little bit too much control on the side of Gale Force. They have Sundering, they have Gust, they have
good.
crazy reset potential with Li Ming. I'm giving it to Gale Force.
All right, that's 2-1. What do I do?
Do we pass you a Thunderstick?
No, I don't like Thundersticks. I'm going to go with Zoya. I'm going to go with Naventic. I think that, again, I agree with your statement based on, like, when two teams have their comfort picks, what do you go for? You look for, I guess, mechanical prowess in that instance. And I think Naventic, especially based on what we saw this morning, I think I have to kind of go for them. So that is that. Thank you very much, guys.
Something also we didn't bring up real quick, though, is Naventic has had warm-up games today.
Right,
They've already got that momentum going. They're off to the 2-0 win. Gale Force hasn't played today, so they've got, you know...
That's true.
This is technically, they're going to be their warm-up.
Got to do their stretches, got to get
stretches.
wiggly and everything. All right, let's go for it. We have our first semi-final on the way. It is the best of 3 between these two teams. Who is going to advance on to the grand final? I'm sending you over to Zoya and Jhow to find out.
Well, guys, we have a really exciting match coming up here. It's the first semifinal match. Now, this event we've been talking about all weekend is different than the last regionals. That's just making finals doesn't qualify you for Worlds. You have to win this event.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. There's going to be another regional event, but if you get second place here, it does give you an opportunity, an outside shot, depending on how the next one plays off. But game number 1 here, Zoya, between Gale Force and Naventic.
Well, here we go, guys. On the left-hand side of the map, it's going to be Gale Force Esports. Make some noise. Michael Udall on Falstad, Crowan on Li Ming, Fury playing Joanna, Rafflecopter on Thrall, and Akaface playing Uther.
And on the right side in red, that's going to be Zuna there on Muradin. Fan going to be on Tassadar. Big impact on Kael'thas. Zul going to be played, and that is going to be on McIntyre. And then Kenma, of course, going to be on Karazim.
Now, we talked about it before. Usually when we see 7-sided strikes, it's against a double warrior lineup like we saw earlier today. Do you think we'll see it versus the solo Joanna?
I mean, if Thrall's up there to help soak some of that, but we talked about it in the draft, Johanna does tend to get a little bit pushy around those shrines, and I think that if there's a moment to capitalize on it, I feel like 7-sided strike might be coming out here.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, the Sundering can be so terrifying as well. You see the aggression here in the middle of the map, and no real exchange going on. Nice Gravilaps connects, but, you know, not really too much focus fire onto Crowan here. You know, you got to always talk about Zul on this map. It's not just about the wave clear, it's about the pressure he puts on the enemy structures.
Yeah, he really does. The stun goes out, and there's Fury coming in, trying to get that condemned, but the return fire coming back from Naventic. We're going to see a 4-1 rotation as we take a look at Rafflecopter and Fan here in the top lane.
We'll see here if they're able to keep up the safety here as we are clearing out this middle lane. In the top lane, I mean, it's going to be pretty stagnant up there as a Thrall versus Tassadar. Unless someone really just gets really greedy or just trying to play silly, we'll see that be pretty still. And we do see the rotation from Big Impact and Zuna. We already know that Rafflecopter is aware of it, but Zuna's going for it. He's looking for the dismount. Does he get the stun? Gravity Lapse is there. Do they have enough damage to take him down? He's getting very low. And will Rafflecopter fall? He should go down. First blood to Naventic, but Michael Udall falls in aggressively. Fury going for the condemn. Fan and Zuna are very far forward, but I don't think they'll be able to get... actually, they will. Fan is so low up there.
He is shielding himself, and we do see Krolin going after him, missing with those magic missiles. Krolin on pursuit here, but we do see the rotation back. Fans barely surviving. The Arcane Orb is going to secure the kill there, Zoya.
It shows the aggression of Naventic, but the heads-up play from Gale Force, that fly-in from Michael Udall was so aggressive, but it was perfect, and they were able to turn what was one death into a 2-for-1 situation.
Well, Michael Udall, he was looking to Hearth back there. Of course, he does have that flight on Falstad to be able to get back into the fight. The first Shrine has been activated, and getting a head start right now is Gale Force.
We see that it will be a Frozen Punisher here in the middle. Jay Howe taking a look at the talents. I'm not seeing anything too out of the ordinary. We'll be seeing Healing Ward on Karazim. That gets picked up every once in a while.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that can definitely add value, especially if you can put it on the backside of one of these walls around the Shrine here to be able to get that circular, I guess, positioning on that healing. But a huge lead for Gale Force, but they're going after Rafflecopter. The Gravity Labs coming in again. The huge damage coming out. Are they going to be able to secure another kill? They're all over Rafflecopter trying to get back. Flame Strike is going to do some additional damage there. Akaface is actually going to be the one to fall here.
Fury doing a good job of trying to zone for his teammates. Going to pop Iron Skin there. And even though he died, Akaface played that fight perfectly. He was somehow able to keep Thrall up through a lot of that damage, and he repositioned himself between Thrall and his opponents.
Well, we do see now 33 to 14, 15 lead in favor of Gale Force. They should be able to pull this out with the poke, but we do see the dive back down there, and we do see a little bit of trouble as the Condemn coming in from Fury, trying to at least save his team from even more damage.
Well, that Punisher will go over the Gale Force despite the death, and I really have to highlight again, Akaface played that perfectly, allowed his team to stay into this fight and keep pressuring that point, and now they're in a fantastic position pushing down this front structure, but at the same time, I gotta be curious as to what Zul has been doing in those side lanes. This Punisher can be cleared up very quickly as it was baited over the wall, and we do see in the bottom lane that half the ammo has already been drained, but a good job from Rafflecopter trying to stall this out as long as he can.
Yeah, as great as Thrall is, Zul is just an absolute menace when he is pushing in a lane 1v1. The Punisher cleared up, not getting a ton of value out of that first one there, Zoya.
We do see the rotation was to Falstad to the top lane to lane versus Fan, and we do have a gank actually, as it looks like Karazim and Kel'Thas and Murden might potentially go for a gank onto Falstad, but he did get a good gank there. Iron Skin popped early, but it does not matter. Zuna did still throw out the Iron Skin, so Fury going to be able to back out of there very easy. But Gravity Lapse connects with Falstad, and that was a lot of free damage, and he just backed.
I mean, that's the part about Falstad, is that you show up where you're landing, and the timing from big impact to land that Gravity Lapse, that's beautiful. That is top tier play right there.
Level 7 hit first barely by Naventic here. I'll take a look at the talents. I mean, we do see that it will be the cleanse, and there is a lot of CCs. I mean, of course, Falstad gets CC at 16. You got Joanna, Thrall, and Uther. So cleanse, very, very important.
Yeah, the Iron Skin coming out there now returning a favor. As you can see, the Gravity Lamps continue to do damage. They've got to be very careful. You see Fury avoiding his team with that Living Bomb, does have the inherent Chain Bomb onto it, and you can see the pushback from Gale Force continuing.
Well, we do see that nice rotation still so far from these teams. Joanna still holding his talent. Fury just not quite sure what he wants to go in this situation. Next Shrine should be spawning somewhat soon. If we take a look at the Merc camps, I mean, only Gale Force has started doing them. They took the Bruisers at the top left, and of course, they took the Siege camp as well in the bottom.
I love this call here. Of course, they could be grabbing this, but you know that this is one of the more beneficial camps. When we talk about this map in particular, they're now going to hop on that the minute this Shrine spawns. 10 seconds here, Zoya, and they're going to get good value out of that top camp.
That's going to be in the bottom lane. That's the lane that Zul was primarily pressuring. So if Naventic wins this point, they, as you can see here in the bottom, it's completely out of ammo right now. So makes that Punisher even more powerful. That's what we see in the Asian regions, is why Zul is prioritized on this map. It will be an Arcane Punisher. Nice stun on to Thrall there. Great Gravity Lapse from Big Impact, and what a beautiful kill coming out from Naventic.
Yeah, the Gravity Lapse, again, Big Impact is being an absolute monster with Kel'Thas right now, paying off as we see Udall and McIntyre. They're continuing the push. Neither one of them necessarily want to give up a lane this early, as we're getting even closer to level 10, a crucial talent.
Yeah, really, really well done from Naventic. And they should be able to guarantee themselves this Arcane Punisher, because and we're talking about the map abuse of Zul on this map. He's not even contesting this point. He rotated top to help pressure in that lane, just doing what Zul does best, which is split pushing. Naventic is confident enough in their 4 versus 5 at for the time being as Brawl was dead, but Zul does rotate down finally.
Falstad coming down as well. Of course, of that flight, he does beat Zul on the rotation down, but very close to level 10 right now is Naventic. So Gale Force has to be very careful. You can see Michael Udall trying to force McIntyre out, but Kenma being very aggressive as he's known to do there on Kerosene.
Well, here comes that level 10 you're talking about. It's going to be Phoenix. Poison Nova picked up, as well as Avatar, and it is 7-sided strikes as well as the Force Wall. I'm really loving the 7-sided strikes we've been seeing from Kenma this weekend.
This basically forces Gale Force to drop out of the competition here for the Punisher, as the Arcane Punisher is going to be spawning this time for Team Naventic.
We'll see what damage they can do in that bottom lane. Zul going to be split pushing mid versus Joanna. Level 10 just finally about to be picked up here for Gale Force Esports. Gravity Lap's not going to connect this time for big impact, but Heroic's looking pretty standard as well coming out. Again, I want to see the Fallen Sword, man. We just never get it here in NA.
We got it yesterday when I think you weren't around, but the Punisher continuing to get value here. And you can see baiting the Punisher back, but Rafflecopter is taking a lot of damage from the Arcane Sentries as well. The fort does stand, and now we see Michael Udall coming in with the Mighty Gust, and the engagement coming out as the Sunray just misses Zuna, avoiding that with the Dwarf Toss.
Zuna playing that perfectly. Sunray getting no value. Blessed Shield comes out on the big impact. Gale Force, despite using so many heroes, still wanting to fight this, but 7 side strikes go down on Crow. That's going to force up the Divine Shield, and Naventic trying to pressure the Zuna, despite being solo, goes in for the stun. It does hit Ling Ming. Nice cleanse from Akaface.
Yeah, not a lot of follow-up, but the cleanse basically awarded them the regression there to be able to fall back. And now we see both teams only 5 kills total, 3 for Team Naventic, 2 for Gale Force. We're still looking for something to break. And when you talk about these two teams and the potential they have in team fights, anything could happen.
This is the power of Zul. The Skeleton's just doing so much damage in this mid lane. He doesn't even need to be there. He's up top pushing a different lane. That's the power that we see. The rotations from top to mid, just put so much pressure on the map.
Well, we do see this is the phase where we'll probably see teams start camps here, as it does look like Team Naventic starting their camp at the bottom. And you can see this is the moment in between these shrine phases. Both teams are dead even. They're looking for 13, and they're looking for map control.
See that Zuda's going to go ahead and cap another mercenary camp for his team. Zul looks like he wants to start the Bruisers potentially in the top. No, he's just going to rotate over to this lane and keep soaking that experience. While Naventic is doing a good job so far controlling the game, they are not so significantly far ahead that they can get greedy and, you know, just neglect their lanes.
The thing about this is you talked about the power of Zul. It's allowing a little bit of map control. Team Naventic, I feel, is dictating every movement that Gale Force has to make because Zul is putting so much pressure by himself, allowing the other 4 members of Team Naventic to move about the map.
We see that the middle shrine is spawning in the next 7 seconds. We've had a 1-1 trade so far as to who wins this.
Yeah, level 13, though, should be picked up first by Team Naventic. I wonder if they're going to go in the minute that they get that. As you can see, Gale Force not very far behind, but they are looking for a possible party bush here, looking to catch Zul out. But it looks like they might have company.
Level 13 picked up just briefly here. Zuna leaps over the wall, but does not end up connecting with the Stormbolt. I thought you'd all taking some light damage, but Zuna gonna have to back out. Missing the Stormbolt was pretty key in that engagement, but we're just about finally to have level 13 here for Gale Force, but already 11 minions in favor of Naventic.
Yeah, again, you do talk about that 13 talent. There should be some minions to allow them to try and get a little bit closer, but Gale Force knows that Naventic is looking for the kill with their team, as we do see level 13 should be picked up, but the poking coming in from Kron is really paying off, as we might have a fight break out here.
Gravity Lapse goes down. Nice cleanse again from Akaface, man. He is on point with his cleanses, just almost instantaneous reactions coming out from him. Good job from them so far. Zuna again controlling the point. Nice Thundering comes out. Can they secure a kill with her, though?
The cleanse did come down. The Poison Nova has come out. 7-sided strike. Not going to do a ton of damage. Divine Shield was procced here. McIntyre is very low. Does have the shield. He is going to go down as the first kill here. Kenma very deep there. The resets on Kron are coming in. Fury under assault. Zuna up there getting stunned out, but very low right now is Gale Force.
Akaface is going to fall. Zuna's going deep. Michael Udall with the barrel roll. Will he be able to reposition himself? Crowan getting chased as well. They're trying to go for Raffle. Beautiful force wall from Finn. Can they secure the kill? The Stormbolt Gravity Lapse is there. And what a great setup. And Rafflecopter's going to fall as well. And Naventic gets the shrine.
That force wall was amazing, Zoya. Without that, that could have gone either way. And now Naventic starting to push once again. Mortar Punisher here in the middle lane.
The reason that fight went so poorly for Naventic was because of how hard they split up at the start. We saw Zool off on his own by McIntyre. We saw Tassadar isolated as well. It was mainly just Murden and Karazim going for that big chase, and it's hard to get a kill with just those two heroes.
Well, we do see another split push. Zool showing his value. It just looks like Naventic, they don't really care to push right now with this Punisher, but they're going to get a fort in the bottom lane. They have the Punisher pushing middle. It didn't do a ton of damage to the fort, but I still feel like Naventic starting to get a little bit of distance as they now have almost a full level lead over Gale Force.
Yeah, but they're not letting that get to their heads. They're still playing safe, they're still playing smart, and doing whatever they can to maintain this lead going into the game. And again, like you said, they did take the first fort. No other fort has fallen. This is a pretty big push here in the bottom lane, and the fan is going to rotate up here. I don't think he'll be able to stop this on his own. This looks like this will be a fort going over to Gale Force. Actually, no, they're backing up.
Yeah, Gale Force, I think, is a little bit threatened by the position of the minute that Oracle came out, they realized that everybody was spotted, and you have Johanna in the back lane, Li Ming already rotating back to try and defend that middle fort. But that middle fort is going very low. Both teams are respecting the rotations here.
Yeah, Naventic coming out ahead of that. Of course, an Akaface very far forward. Great force while the Mighty Gus is going to help there. Zulroot comes out. That's going to put him in a bad spot. 7-side strikes go down. Doesn't matter. Akaface is going to die.
That was just beautiful execution on the side of Naventic, understanding that cleanse can't come out there because that's Uther. I mean, you can't escape that. The Bone Prison showing that true value as now Naventic starting to rotate over and possibly looking for the aggression on these camps.
Yeah, that just comes down to the fact that you can't cleanse yourself in that situation. And Akaface, you know, if he gets caught out of position, it's so hard to deal with. Fan playing Tassadar so amazingly well, not only with just the force walls, but with his positioning in these team fights and the ability to keep his teammates alive.
Well, we do see continued split cleaning up this camp very quickly as Gale Force, but Fury under assault here has to be very careful. The Blessed Shield did already go out, but not enough members here. Li Ming in the top, the Gravity Lab's coming in. Rafflecopter gonna go down there on Thrall, and now Fury in all kinds of trouble. The Bone Prison gonna come down. Poison Nova trying to secure the kill. 2 members of Gale Force go down.
This is kind of a characteristic I've noticed of this team for the last few weeks is that once they lose momentum, they just kind of panic and spread out, and it's pick after pick after pick. That's what happened in the match. They actually lost the one that they dropped to Cloud9 was Cloud9 got some momentum, and it was just, you know, Akaface getting picked off here, Rafflecopter getting picked up here, and that just kept happening throughout the match. Gale Force needs to calm down, clear their heads, and start moving again as one.
Zoya, you are calling it to a T right now. Level talents, or tier talents are even, but the control firmly in favor of Naventic. 8 kills to 4. They've already got a head start on the Shrine. It's going to be a Frozen Punisher coming out here in a minute. But I don't even think Gale Force is going to be able to contend this.
Yeah, this is they just have to give this up at this point. If they could try and contest it at the end, I mean, they are on the same tier, but great aggressive zoning coming out from Zuna so far. Just trying to get as many minions as they can. With 27 already taken, they would have to engage now to try and deny this, and it doesn't look like with Fan and Zuna here able to do much. Really good job so far. Great zoning coming out from Naventic, and they're going to get another Punisher. This one's the first one that's actually going to go straight onto a keep, J-How.
Yeah, this is a scary moment. That bottom fort was taken out the last rotation. Maybe that's what they had in mind during that rotation, understanding the map, and it cycles through the shrines here, and it now does look like they're finally going to push with this Punisher, and this is a scary moment. We've seen Naventic be able to take a pick or two and rotate this into some early games. Will we see that here?
We're going to try and make it happen. They're pushing down this wall. It does leap straight in. Iron Skin used very early from Joanna. Definitely a target now, especially with 7 side strikes. Gravity Lab comes out, not going to connect with anyone. Sundering used as well, but no follow-up from his team. Rafflecopter very far forward. Cleanse used. 7 side strikes go down, but no value. Good gust into the corner, but can they capitalize on a Fan? Throws on the force wall, trying to zone as well as they can. Disintegrate being used. A big Poison Nova hitting 4 members of Gale Force, and Naventic still very healthy.
Yeah, they are all in. Johanna going in. The Iron Skin going to be there, and it is going to avoid that Bone Prison. It just seemed like Gale Force was using every tactic to try and keep them off of them, and that is not how you want to use your heroics.
Yeah, it just seemed like everyone was on a different page. It looks like Raffle was ready to engage initially with that Sundering. There was no follow-up as well. They started to back out. It looked like Michael Udall again tried to do another setup for his team with that Mighty Gust. Again, no follow-up. It was just very, very late. They just seemed to be on a completely different page with each other.
Despite the misplays, they are just barely a level down, just a little less than that. They're still very much in this game. As you said, they need to just take a breath, come together and regroup. They are not on the same page, it's showing, and now they have to try and turn this around. And as you can see, any moment can change at this late of the game.
This is, you know, for 8 kills to 4, you know, for being down in structures, being a level gap is good, and that just shows you how well Falstad is played by Michael Udall. He's constantly soaking those side lanes, just doing whatever he can to even out the experience.
Well, we do see camp being picked up in the bottom, possibly some rotations from Naventic coming in. As you can see, that's forcing Gale Force off point while Naventic goes ahead and rotates down to the bottom to grab yet another camp.
Naventic getting closer and closer to those Storm tier talents, J-How, and I am super excited to see how they're going to play this out and what level 20 we'll see from Karazim. A lot of times we do see the 11-sided strikes, but sometimes Kenma likes to change it up.
You know, I love watching Kenma play because of the diverse hero pool that he has and the abilities that he uses, the talent choices. I mean, there's just so much. As we see Gale Force down in the bottom left, grabbing a camp, trying to even up these camps just a little bit. The next shrine going to be active in 15 seconds. Level 20 very close for Naventic here. And you can see they're trying to pressure a fort to get the experience and also have a clear lane for that Punisher.
Yeah, they're going to get really close to 20 after this. And again, another Punisher lane that's going to go straight to keep for Naventic. It does the same for Gale Force, though, and they're doing what they can to split soak as well. You see Falstad here in the mid pushing with these mercenaries. And, oh, I love this call. I love getting preemptive damage onto this keep. If Naventic wins that Punisher, this could be the first keep of the game going down for Naventic.
Yeah, Gale Force trying to get a little bit sneaky, trying to at least force a rotation down, but Naventic very experienced with their knowledge coming down, forcing this open. As you called, now this is a Punisher with an open keep there, and this is a very scary moment for Gale Force.
It will be arcane power and will not be set 11-sided strikes. I just love the 4 extra strikes you get. It's so awesome. It will be Storm Shield, and no surprise really there. Just the extra survivability is going to make it so hard for Gale Force to secure kills. But I mean, the shot calling from Zuna has been phenomenal for just today. I mean, the patience he's been showing is great.
Gale Force a little late to the party, but they are looking to crash it. 34 picked up on the side of Naventic, and you can see they're rotating around, but they're taking a lot of damage doing so. Michael Udall in that bottom, he still does have that Mighty Gust available to try and turn this fight if things do get bad, or if they're trying to look aggressive. The posturing continues here, Zoya.
Iron Skin is down for Fury, so he is now a target, but he is level 20, so he will be a little bit harder to kill with that indestructible. Fan very far forward here, gonna have to reposition himself. Have to be careful there. And now Gale Force, with Mighty Gust down, not getting much value out of that.
Yeah, it seemed rather defensive once again. I feel like Michael Udall needs to rotate around and try and join his team. 7-sided strike baited out there, but the Sundering in return. And now we see Zuna in a lot of trouble as the Avatar has been popped. The blinds are coming out, and we see Gale Force in hot pursuit. Divine Shield coming out here already, Zoya.
Fury getting very, very low, but great heals from Akaface so far. Iron Skin been popped yet again. Rafflecopter going to be the first to fall in this fight. Zuna leaps in aggressively. Akaface is going to go down as well, but he does have the redemption. Fury being chased. Great gravity labs coming out from Big Impact. That's 3 members dead. Uther's about to spawn, but Naventic is right on top of him. And, oh, that fight was so beautiful on the end of Naventic. They are going to get Akaface here. Zuna going for Crone, does not end up connecting with the Storm Bolt there. Big Impact not going to be able to land as well. Did they overextend? Crone not going to be able to secure that kill. Oh, but Michael Udall might be in trouble. No, he's going to be able to barrel roll at the last second there. Naventic going to go ahead and back up to that point. But that fight was so beautiful. Anytime there was a swap in targets for Naventic, you would see at least 3 members shift. It was a constant ping-ponging between Joanna, between Falstad, and then between the Thrall eventually, but they did it as one.
Well, I mean, the Divine Shield, I don't know if that was a misclick. That was a full health Rafflecopter, and that could have been the turning point of that fight because we saw somebody drop down just right after that. But this is an Arcane Punisher now pushing down, and this is going to be really tough for Gale Force to defend.
Yeah, they're definitely losing the keep here, but this could be game. 15 seconds on. Uther and Divine Shield is not up yet. Very aggressive lead from the Punisher here. Zuna's looking for Raffle, gets a Storm Bolt, but nice gust from Michael Udall.
Yeah, they were trying to bait the Punisher over to that middle keep to allow them to buy some time. And that Mighty Gust was there to help try and secure it, but they weren't able to get it all the way over. But it did buy them time because now this Punisher already going down here, Zoya. So a nice defense here by Gale Force.
Yeah, and this also goes back to the defense at the keep before between Leeming and Falstad. They did a good job of poking down Zuna and Fan as well to force them to back up, and that made this situation here possible where they only lost their keep and not the game.
Yeah, Gale Force still very much in this, but again, having to deal with the pressure from Naventic. They already grabbed the camp in the top, and now they're looking for a party bush in this bottom lane. Could they be going possibly for a keep the minute they see the rotation up? Naventic strategizing here in the late game.
Looks like Fan's going to rotate and clear mid, but what he's mainly doing is showing where he is on the map. to get Gale Force to feel a little bit patient or safer, and that's exactly what's happening here. Fury gets caught. Iron Skin going to be used very early. Feels anyone but Fury there, that might have been a different situation, but the bait from Fan worked out perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a thing of beauty from Naventic, but as you said, Johanna able to get out of those situations. The Iron Skin popped. That way you can avoid any of that CC. Gale Force lives for at least another moment, but getting stunned there. Gravity Lapse coming in, getting some damage, but that is Johanna not able to follow up there.
Yeah, and what Naventic is looking to do in those situations, they know they're not going to be able to kill Fury. What they're doing is trying to get cooldowns to be used. Cleanse, 1 minute cooldown. You got Iron Skin, Divine Shield. That's what they're trying to do, is force those long cooldowns out from Gale Force with those small little skirmishes.
Now Fury trying to get in there, but he's going to be body blocked here. Iron Skin does not help. Seven-sided strike has gone in. As we see the Gravity Lapse followed up the damage getting on there, but he does still have Indestructible if he needs it. Fan rotating to the top. Michael Udall there in case he's needed. But now on the backside here, Zoya.
Why was he back there so far by himself? 60 seconds without thrall, and now Naventic is in a phenomenal position. They can guarantee themselves this Punisher, and from before, that bottom keep has already taken some damage, and Naventic, they're just going to push into it and take it into free, and that Punisher is going to go straight onto core.
I mean, this is a tough spot. They are rotating again. Once again, take out some of the structures, allowing you to get max value out of that Punisher. Still 40 seconds left on Thrall. The Shrine will be active in a few seconds. They are clearing a path for this Punisher.
Really, really great shot calling again coming out from Zuna. That's exactly what they did. Amazing poke coming out from Crow, and I mean, he's been playing phenomenally on Li Ming here, and forcing an Avatar out of Zuna. That is huge.
Yeah, I mean, that is not something you wanted to have happen right there. 15 seconds left. Seven-sided strike being baited out once again. Naventic looking to turn this fight. They still have a 5-on-4. Mighty Gust has come out here. Gravity Lapse in return. They're trying to take down Akaface, but that is the wrong hero you want to take down, as Fury's starting to come in and ward them off just a little bit.
Really dislike the shot calling coming out from Naventic. Basically, they've done nothing with the time that Thrall was dead. They got some damage on the keep, but they weren't able to secure any kills. They used a lot of heroics of their own. I would have just preferred if they would have just went to this point, they would have been able to get it for free, because they're not going to contest 4 versus 5. I don't like what they just did at all.
Falstad, he is going to be there in the fight any moment. Epic Mount, he's going to be able to fly around. Not a huge lead, but if Gale Force is going to take a fight, this has to be it. Sundering on this backside. They're going into Cleanse, is used. Big impact, in a lot of trouble. Taking a lot of damage. Is he going to get out of there? Divine Shield used once again on Rafflecopter, who's now taking the 7-sided strike on the backside here, Zoya.
That was an aggressive blow from Rafflecopter that started. They tried to get Big Impact, but Fan did such a great job with the rewind to keep Big Impact alive, and they're going to be able to walk away with their lives. That was such beautiful play on both sides, but Fan, man, really showing why he's considered one of the best players in the world.
I mean, this is absolutely amazing. Gale Force still in this. Only 8 more needed for Naventic. You see them posturing up, coming from the bottom right of the map, but Fury gonna be there to try and ward them off with Johanna. The Condemn is available, gonna sit there. We do see the Iron Skin has popped. Kenra taking a lot of damage. Kenra goes down here, Zoya.
The resets from Li Ming are here. Crowan looking for Big Impact. He's very low. McIntyre's in a bad spot as well. Gets slowed by Fury. The aggressive fly-in from Michael Udall. He gets the gust on the 2 members. He gets great Gravity Lapse turn around, and they're going to take out Rafflecopter.
And now you see Big Impact in a lot of trouble with the stun, coming back onto Fan. Crowan, Akaface, and Michael Udall all here, but they're turning some damage around. Crowan, the Storm Bolt does miss, but Zuna being very aggressive. Li Ming here, the Punisher picked up in the meantime, Zoya.
Fan is doing work on Tastar. Him and Big Impact have done so much damage. Michael Udall is out of mana. They're looking for the chase. Zuna has mounted up. Fury, if he can dismount him, that might save him. And there's also the Punisher as well. They get to turn around the Big Impact, but he still hasn't gone down. The shields, not enough this time. Big Impact's gonna fall.
Now we see Fury under assault, but this Punisher is going to start hitting the core here soon. Michael Udall flying back, trying to get in to the base, but Fury Indestructible has been popped. Things are looking very grim right now for Gale Force.
Smart use to go onto Uther there. When he does use the poison, though, that's going to be the death of Johanna. Akaface is kiting back as well as he can. Punisher going to leap onto him as well. And will Akaface go down? He does fall. Michael Udall taking a lot of damage. Barrel roll is down. The root connects. Nice gust, but Zuna is there with the Storm Bolt, but he's not going to be able to secure the kill. He has to get out of from underneath that tower.
Uther is back, but this Punisher is still very healthy. About 75% of his life still left, continuing to assault Akaface over here. Remember, redemption there, but Sundering has been used. Avatar has been popped. Zuna has no mana. Is he going to be able to get out of there? It does look as Kinma comes in for support on those heals.
The only way I can describe the last 2 minutes is just scrap fest. That was just back and forth, mistakes on both ends, but good capitalization on those mistakes. Really, really well done there so far, but from both teams, really.
The way that Gale Force has managed to survive this late in the game, we're now 26 minutes. They've had 2 Punishers threatening their core, and they have not had any health taken off of it just yet.
I don't think any other team would still be in this match right now.
Not at all.
Every other team I feel would match up against Naventic right now would be dead right now, but Gale Force is just clawing their way back into this game. They refuse to give up.
Well, Naventic showing the usual strategy of the minute everything falls and everything gets back to normal, they start going for camps once again. Gale Force in a position to where they can grab one as well. That Shaman camp gonna be pushing in the top, but now there's 2 camps for Gale Force to deal with as well in that middle and bottom lane.
All it takes is one fight, Jay. Now we are 27 minutes into the game. Even though Gale Force has not taken any keeps, if they can win one fight convincingly, that can be game.
Yeah,
that's
very
what they're
easy.
looking to do.
I mean, we are so late in the game, all it takes, because you can just bypass that wall, go straight for the keep, and then go straight for the core. As it looks like Naventic trying to posture up, looking for any type of pick. Even one pick here changes the whole complex of this game.
Yeah, death timers are so long at this point. And we see that Gale Force has finally started to catch on that no, Kenma does not have Divine Palm, and we're seeing him being a focus target in these fights. They're willing to capitalize on that, and that's what happened in that last fight where they just immediately took Kenma out of the fight.
Well, we see the posturing. I feel like this isn't going to break. Nobody's looking necessarily for the hard picks. So the next Shrine phase is going to be crucial, and that's where this game is finally going to break. I don't see anybody living past this next Shrine phase.
Yeah. Well, that's what Naventic's waiting for right now, is for that Shrine phase to start before they cap this. And keep in mind, that's going to be Shaman on the core with Catapults as that keep is down. We immediately see Fury, Crone, and Rafflecopter rotate up just to deal with it.
Yeah, the longer this fight goes on, if they don't deal with it, we're 15 seconds away still. That should give them just enough time. We did see Naventic try and delay that pickup, but on this backside, getting caught out. The Gravity Labs coming in, the Divine Shield already being used, but Sundering used in return as now we see the Mighty Gust coming in. But Fury very deep in there, Storm Shield has been popped, but the damage as Thrall goes down, Indestructible being popped there on Johann.
Big impact falls though, Akaface about to go down, but he's keeping everyone alive, and they're turning it around. Gale Force with the resets, Crone is going crazy, Fan gets the dodge at the last second, but it's only Tassadar, and it's only Murd in the left.
Michael Udall does have that epic mount. If he feels that somebody's getting away, look for him to fly over. There he goes, he's continuing to stay onto Fan here.
Oh
Fan
my
trying
God.
to shoot. The shift has been used, he doesn't have another one. Can he do enough damage?
Crowan's being 1v1 by Zuna at the same time. Fury trying to stall out. He does get very low. All it takes is one more damage. Great force fall. And Crowan does fall. It's a 2-for-2 exchange. Neither one.
Look at the jukes by Fan down here. Just completely ignoring Michael Udall, avoiding that, and Li Ming goes down. This is huge right now for Naventic. And now Michael Udall having to fly back to deal with that camp that you talked about, as well as the catapults.
Think of how that fight would have gone if Akaface didn't get caught at the start and could have used Divine Shield to keep Thrall alive. They keep getting picked off one person before every fight. If they can just finally take a team fight, 5 versus 5 on even ground without anyone getting picked off, this should be Gale Force's game.
As much disdain as we've expressed towards Li Ming and her priority, the resets have shown over and over again, and Crowan able to turn that fight around to keep Gale Force in it once again, as we now see a head start here for Naventic on this Shrine phase.
Well, we do see that Rafflecopter's immediately going onto Zuna here. He does not have Avatar. 7 side strikes. He's Fan already get taken out, but that's going to be a death of Thrall yet again.
Yeah, we did see him try to bolt out of there, but the fire was on and the explosion happened. And now we see full-on assault there as the Gravity Lab's coming out once again. As you can see, the return stun on Akaface. Storm Shield has been procced, but nobody to fight here as Thrall going to be down. But this is huge. Catapult's now going to be pushing here on the core. Crowan having to defend. A Punisher has now been picked up. Can they survive again? I feel like there's nothing for them.
It's going to be close to impossible here. This is a 30-minute Punisher. Scales so hard in the late game, and there's only a damage keep here to defend. Without having Sundering or Gust up yet, this is going to be the hold of lifetime. Ironskin already used. Zuna diving deep onto Rafflecopter.
Crowan trying to get that damage on that backside, poking away at Kael'thas, but having to rotate over into the middle of the fight. This Punisher very healthy. The keep is down. The minute this Punisher gets on the core, look for the damage to start being chunked out. Zoya, I think this might be it.
Well, as you see, Gale Force getting very low. Akaface is going to fall. Thrall's up in 6 seconds. Punisher's half HP, but they're going for the core, and it's falling so fast with multiple lanes of catapults here. 50% of the core, and we're going to have GG. Naventic takes game number 1.
That was an incredible incredible game, Joy. An absolutely incredible game to see the back and forth. The length and amount of time that Gale Force was able to hold on was crazy.
Yeah, that was what a set. I have to harp on it. Gale Force needs to kind of calm Raffle down. He's getting over-aggressive. I mean, that flank that happened mid lane where he was so far away from his team, I understand wanting the flank on fall, but everyone else had already retreated under their keep. They need to get Raffle to calm down, and they need to get Akaface on the same page with them, because there were so many situations where they started fights with Thrall dead, or a Thrall overextended, or Akaface just not ready to save him.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of been the story all weekend that we've had issues with, is wondering where Rafflecopter is going to be in these fights. He's on heroes that allow for that flanking potential. It's not paying off at the right time.
Beautiful later stages of that game.
Yeah,
really,
that was a fun
really
game.
nice. I mean, the thing is that, and I've learned this a lot throughout my esports career, is that when you watch games don't have to be perfect for them to be like the most entertaining. You see like the craziness of the desperation moves that go on in those later stages where Stormbolts don't land on someone, just inches off because they're just frantically trying to get kills there. And Gale Force able to keep themselves alive for as long as they did during that. That was fantastic stuff.
There was a massive kill differential. Like Naventic was like 17-6, I think, in terms of kills, but Gale Force down 2 keeps still held on. It never looked like they were out of it. They were just fighting back, scrapping. Really, really scrappy game.
Yeah.
One of the most back and forth games I've seen in a long time in terms of just like the late game, right? Chasing, going for those engages. We've got some pretty cool replays. It was so hard to pick the replays for this one,
dude,
right? I wanted to grab
game.
like 7. We grabbed 2 at different points, right? So let's take a look at the first replay actually, where it was more like around level 16, and this was.
I remember this moment,
replay.
actually.
I remember this one. That replay, yeah.
It's a good one, yeah. I mean, the lobby is looking excellent right now. Oh, there we go. All right, so this was just a level 16, right around the corner here on the side of Gale Force, and this was something that set Naventic up very nicely. Going in, they're going to get the double kill, picking up both Raffle and Fury, and this is kind of what cemented them that advantage going towards level 20. Now, this was looking great, right? You know, this is setting them up. Yes, we have a nice advantage. We're going to be able to control the shrines. Ultimately, that enabled them to get the first keep, and then snowball that to the bottom keep. But then we got some of those moments where Fan became a legend on Tassadar, even more so. Oh, we're gonna dance all around the table. It's gonna be good. Let's take a look at the second replay where we have both Leeming and Tassadar just kind of running around. So watch this. Udall flying in, very offensive Gus, pushing them down. You know, honestly, Big Impact has no reason to be alive right now, except Fan says, you know what, bro? I got you covered. Fan is just on this whole escort duty, dodging the spells coming out from Li Ming, forcing Li Ming away. Again, Raffle's still down here. Michael Udall takes a ton of damage. He's now going to fly aggressively, looking for Big Impact. Now, Big Impact realizes that might be the case, actually backs away, jukes this. This allows Zuna to go in and secure the approach, zoning him away. All of that was a fight where Naventic was so far behind, and there were about 2 or 3 fights where Fan just stabilized the team, enabling people like Big Impact and Zuna to secure those kills.
I think one thing that is important, and you mentioned it during the cast, is that it's very important in games like Hero of the Storm to stick into it to the very end, because once you are beyond that level 20, like we saw Gale Force there fighting for their lives, and you mentioned it very clearly, if you do get a team wipe, if you do actually get that fight, that you potentially can with the control that they have in that kind of combination with Falstad having the Ghost Epic Mount to reposition, etc., you can still win, even though almost every single one of your structures is destroyed.
Polaris, that game was so close to breaking in favor of Gale Force. The fact that they had Leeming in the resets, you saw the potential. They were so close to being able to turn some of those fights. They just weren't able to seal the deal.
Yeah. I mean, when we're stood here, you guys, I'm always stood at the desk. And normally, when I'm like, game's done, I go put my jacket on. But I didn't put my jacket on for quite a while. I think you guys might have noticed that. I was like, oh, I'll keep it off for a bit, because they were still keeping themselves in the game, which is all important. So I still think they're not dead here yet, for sure, in this series.
No, definitely not. Naventic is turning some heads. I mean, I thought Naventic was going to turn it up, but Gale Force has proved they can go toe-to-toe with anyone. I mean, I am thoroughly impressed with how well they played the late game.
You have to take a deep breath. Please don't get tilted after that game, because you guys played so well, and you just need a few tweaks. It's only a few tweaks, and they can win this set.
All right, boys. Well, it does it for our first game. Make sure to go to gear.blizzard.com and enter the promotional code for all your Heroes of the Storm merchandise for 15% off, which is quite a hefty amount, actually, if you end up purchasing quite a bit of stuff, which is always nice. And everything over there is fantastic. For now, though, we're going to go to a short break. But when we are back, do not go anywhere because it is still the semi-final between Naventic and, of course, we have Gale Force.